Hey, you can hear me. That's awesome. Hi guys. Again, my name's George Stanislaus Gondorowski, which is very unpronounceable, so you can just call me George or Stan, whatever you guys like. I'm here today to talk about the country you see up there. That's not a Jollibee fried chicken leg. That is actually my home country of Austria. Uh, or as us locals like to call it, does that work? I think my clicker doesn't work. Give me a second. Try. Is it frozen? Oh, there we go. We like to call our country Österreich. That's because we speak German, but don't worry, most people speak fluent English there. So, Eileen, would you switch to the next slide? Why don't you put it here? I think that's easier. Sorry guys, thank you for your patience. Just gonna do it like this. So, Österreich, again, you do not have to know how to pronounce that. That's my name. There we go. So, we are a pretty small country in the center of Europe. Okay guys, let's be honest. Who has ever heard of Austria? Could you please put your hands up? Alright, that's pretty good, that's pretty good. I've spent 2 months in Southeast Asia, and usually I had to explain that we do not have kangaroos actually, and that we are located in Europe, but I'm happy that you guys know where we are. As you can see, we're right in the center. It's just a huge perk if you like traveling, because you can go to 8 different countries within 2 or 3 hours by car, train, or bus. I personally love to just do a spontaneous weekend in Croatia or go to Czech Republic to have great beer. On the right, you can see our country, 9 states, pretty small, capital is Vienna. I want to talk a bit about who we are. Our country is about, area-wise, a third the size of the Philippines, but we only have a 10th of the population. So we're a really small country. Metro Manila alone has 2 to 3 times the inhabitants of my entire country. So we're really small. We speak German, I already said that, but around 3/4 of our population can hold a fluent conversation in English. So don't worry, if you come there, you won't have any troubles communicating with the locals. We pay in euro, as most countries. 1 euro is around 60 pesos, as you probably know already. I want to show you a bit of my country first. Austria is very mountainous. All of our country is more or less located in the Alps, so we have mostly mountains. What we also have is mountains and lakes. We also have mountains at night. And lastly, and most importantly, is we have snowy mountains. In Austria, I would say skiing is about what for you guys might be basketball. So we have a joke that says we learn to ski before we learn how to walk. Our parents would put us on skis and push us down the mountain when we're 2 years old. So if you come to study there, you're definitely going to have the opportunity to learn that. I'm going to show you a few places. This is Salzburg. I would say it's my favorite city. It's the city where I'm from. Not only me, also Mozart, the famous composer, who you might know. Also the brand Red Bull. At our booth, we're giving out free Red Bulls. Sorry guys, we ran out. I hope you got one. But it seems to be popular. So once in winter and once in summer. I don't want to hide from you. It's going to get very, very cold there, but we have great fur coats and a lot of hot wine and the Christmas markets, which look like this on the next slide. Sound of Music, I'm sure you guys have heard of that. That's actually filmed in Austria, so in Salzburg, close to my hometown. So you already have an idea of what it looks like there. The next, our capital city of Vienna. I already mentioned the Christmas markets. This is the municipal administration building. This is what we like to do in Christmas time and enjoy punch, hot wine, and sweets. This is another side of Vienna. That's the palace where the Habsburg monarchy used to live. Those guys ruled our country for a couple hundred of years. Funny enough, one of those Habsburgs people was Maximilian I, Holy Roman Emperor, who, as people liked to do it back then, had a son. That son was called Charles V, also a Holy Roman Empire, who again had a son, what a surprise. He was Philip II of Spain. And you might recognize that name because that's who the Philippines are named after. So you're actually the country is named after a guy from Austria. Quick history lesson over, next nice place. This is Hallstatt. You might have heard of that little town by the lake. It's where every tourist wants to go in Austria, except this is not actually Hallstatt. This is the replica the Chinese built without asking. They built, you can see it here. This is actually located in China. They just built the entire village without asking. It was a huge thing. They even created an artificial lake for that. So here's the actual Hallstatt, and I think it's a lot prettier, and I hope you guys would agree. Next thing, famous brands. You might not know that these brands are from Austria. KTM, you actually have a factory here in the Philippines. Awesome motorcycles, in case any of you ride. Swarovski, if your girlfriend or partner needs a gift for a birthday, for Christmas, whatever, always good. Juices and Red Bull. Famous people. I bet you did not know that this guy, Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes, he does not look like that anymore, but he used to. He's an Austrian guy, he's from Graz. The next one I already mentioned, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, famous composer. And since we're talking about education, of course, Sigmund Freud. I saw some psychology students here, very famous guy. And lastly, oh wait, that's not him, that's actually his pet, I'm sorry. It's Schrödinger. So he's also from Austria, he's from Vienna, and that was just his cat. By the way, I checked, it's alive, don't worry, it's okay. So now, that was a bit of trivia about my country, and I want to show you what it's like to study there and give you some quick facts. We're a small country, but we managed to have around 80 universities. Most people study in public universities, they're all over the place. Up here you can see on the right top corner the University of Vienna, the main building. It's one of the oldest universities in Europe, over 650 years old, and a quarter of all students study there. In contrast to that, very modern, Vienna University of Economics, and on the bottom, the library of the University of Innsbruck. It's a great place to study, but you might be distracted because it's so pretty, in my opinion. Some quick numbers. We have around 400,000 students enrolled, of which actually the majority are women, 55%, and more than a quarter is foreign. And I researched, guys, there's 135 Filipino nationals studying in Austria last year at least. So if you decide to go there, you're going to be very unique, but you will have some friends. Right here you see a photo of Jasmine, that's our Goodwill ambassador. She's studying at the Sigmund Freud University in Vienna. She could not be here today because she likes Austria so much, she decided to go there a bit early before the semester starts. I'm sorry, but she sends her greetings from Vienna. Lots of Asians as well, lots of foreigners. In private universities, actually about half of the people are foreign. If you're into arts, it's usually close to 75 to 80%. So it's a very international community. Everyone's going to speak English, and I like to think that we're quite welcoming as well. We have over 2,000 programs that you can study. In the end, I'm going to give you some links, talked to many already, where you can filter them through the language requirements, the admission requirements, and so on. Admission is different in Austria than in most places, I would say. We have the concept that almost everyone gets a chance to study. So most degree programs will not have entry examinations, they will not require you to have certain grades, but in the first 1 or 2 semesters, they will have a few hard exams. That means you're going to have to study a lot, yes, but everyone gets the chance to study, and I personally like that a lot. We also have very flexible programs. Most degrees will not require you to be at class all the time. You have a lot of free time, you can choose your courses freely, when to take which course, and you have really, really long breaks, which I love a lot. We have a 3-month summer break. So July, August, and September are fully off. All of February is off. Of course, you have to prepare for exams, work, travel, and enjoy your time, but you have a lot of free time. 2 weeks for Christmas and 2 weeks for Easter to potentially come back here and visit family, or have them visit you. Also, since most people study in public universities, that's most relevant, and tuition is very, very low. Even for non-EU nationals, you're gonna pay around 726 or 750 euros per semester, per half year, which equals around 45,000 pesos per semester. And I talked to many people here, and they told me that this is comparable to most Filipino universities, actually. Plus, while you study there, you can work up to 20 hours a week. And in those 20 hours, working in whatever job you might be able to find, we are looking for lots of workers. I used to work in bars and restaurants. you're going to expect to earn around 60,000 pesos per month. That means you can usually finance your day-to-day life as well as your tuition with the money you can earn working, especially in those really long breaks. The cost of living in Austria is not that cheap, especially by local standards, but as I said, you can work and you're gonna be able to finance your studies. If your parents help you, that's great. We also offer lots of scholarships, not through the government. Usually the universities award the scholarship. So if you're interested in a program, go to the university website, send them an email, and they're gonna let you know where you can get money and how much money you can get. I just quickly tried to show here, accommodation is gonna be around 400 euros. Of course, if you live a luxurious life, it's gonna be a lot higher. But if you're talking about a room in a shared apartment, maybe with some friends, or a dorm room, it's quite common to also have your own small place. So dorm rooms are usually not shared. You have your own room, maybe even your own bathroom and little kitchenette. And that's gonna be around 350 to 500 euros. So let's say 400. Food and drink, transportation, free time, very much up to you, how you live, but you can expect to spend between 800 and 1,000 euros a month. So, once you have all that money, I think we should also, quickly, scholarships. Based on the university, we have an awesome website. It's called grants.at. Looks like this. You can choose your nationality, Philippines. I was so free and put it there. Your degree level and your field, and it's gonna give you a list of scholarships that are awarded by private foundations that you can get, where you can apply. And you just pick the ones that you like, apply to all of them if you want to, and let's see that you get the money you need to study there. Once you have that money, it's the question, what can you do with it? Student life is huge in Austria. This is a picture from the city where I currently study, from Graz. Actually, a quarter of the city's population is students. It's like the student capital of Austria. And what we like to do is we like to sit in parks, have drinks, have music playing there, play games, because the climate is very, very nice throughout most of the year. So everyone meets up. Even before going out, we all meet up in the parks and hang out there. When we're done with that, we go to bars. Bar culture is huge. This bar is one of my favorites in Vienna. It's very old. Actually, my parents were drinking there when they went studying. I was, and I hope that one day my children might. Next thing is sports. It's not too cheap to generally do sports, but as a student, every university has a sports institute where you pay a semester fee. It's pretty low, and then you can participate in many, many different courses, weekly or bi-weekly, of any sport you can imagine. You can even go skydiving in some universities. So you have anything there, and it's very much affordable. What else? If you're into culture and arts, opera is obviously huge in Austria, with composers like Mozart, we like to say Beethoven as well, Strauss, all of them coming from Austria. Every city is gonna have an opera house that looks something like that. If you're more like me, I enjoy the opera, but I prefer festivals. There's gigantic festivals of any kind of music in Austria. It's very common to go there, camp there in a tent for 2 or 3 days, and just party or something off. And the last thing is outdoor. You saw a few pictures of mountains already. This is what it usually looks like when you go hiking in Austria, or skiing, or rock climbing, or whatever you might want to do. What I like to do is I just go to the forest and pick mushrooms and then cook them at home. It's really great, it's free. And a quick fun thing, on every mountain top you're gonna have a cross like that. If you climb up there, and then there's gonna be a little box with a book where you can write your name and the date and say that you like the mountain. And usually there's gonna be a little bottle of alcohol in there so you can have a shot. That's on every mountain top. I already mentioned, check out these websites if I hope I got you interested in studying in Austria. First one contains all information. It's run by an organization that's also there for you if you have any questions. That's going to help you with the visa. They have all information about, again, visa, housing, admission, anything you might want to know. That's the OEAD. That's also their website. Go on the first one, but the second one's not that great. And you have grants.at, that's for all private scholarships, as well as Studienwahl.at. This is a database where you can browse all degrees offered in the country. You can filter it again by language requirements, by field of study, all of that, and it's going to pop out all your choices. Check them out, check the websites out of the universities, and feel free to come and study in my country. I'd be very happy. So, I hope to see you in Austria. I'm gonna, yeah, it's wiggling, okay. Do you guys have any questions? Did I cover everything? All good? Oh, there's a question. Yes, please. I'm gonna come there. So the question was what the application period is. For our public universities, you can usually start with every start of the semester. So either at the 1st of October or at the 1st of March. The applications, of course, they vary from university to university. It also depends on if there is an entrance examination, which we have for very few studies, such as psychology and law. But usually you're gonna have to apply until mid-August for October and December for March, or maybe even January. So it's usually more than enough time to apply, but please check out the website for the specific department and program for the admission periods. Any other questions? Doesn't have to be about education, can be anything. Yes, please.
Hello, thank you. How inclusive is Austria? How inclusive? Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. That's a tough question, I think, because how inclusive is Austria? Well, I think one thing that's needs to be mentioned is that we have a very, very international population, not just from EU nationals, but especially we had waves of migrations, first from the Balkans, then from Turkey especially, and then from other parts of the world coming in. So our population is really, really diverse. In the city of Vienna, next year, every other person, more than 50% of people are going to have a parent that was a foreigner, that came to Austria. So it's a very, very international country, and I believe that for the most part, this is very well accepted. We do have, I'm not going to lie to you, we have parts of the population, of course, that have nationalist sentiment and that do not like to see people with a different skin color or something like that. But I promise you, if you study there, you will not encounter these people. In the universities, there's so many foreigners, there's so many internationals, and people are open, and I really appreciate that. They're happy to speak English, and you're going to get by with English, but I hope you're going to learn a few phrases of German, Austrian German, if you live there. Anyone else? Oh yeah, there we go. Is there an age limit? You mean old or young? Old? There is no age limit. Actually, it's very common. I enjoyed it before studying law, which I do now. I studied political science, and we always in each course had 2 or 3 senior citizens that retired, and they just want to, you know, do something worthwhile with their free time. And it was really nice because they did all the research and we helped them with the online registration and stuff. And it's really cool. We usually have a great age mix in most of our degree programs. Anything else? Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, go ahead. One right here. Okay, perfect. That's so much easier.
Does this work as well?
Yeah, I just want to ask, when it comes to like advanced degree, like PhD or master's, like is there any specific area of studies that is prioritized, so to say, in Austria? So like, is there like any specific any field that Austria is like, you know, really at the cutting edge of, like, you know, the modern technology or something like that? And also which cities, which is kind of like known in Austria for like their student population? Yeah.
All right, so to the first question, cutting edge, I would say what we're most famous for is definitely physics and natural sciences. Quite recently we have a scholar and professor, Anton Zeilinger. He won a Nobel Prize and he's very famous in the fields of physics, teaching in Vienna as well. And for the student population, definitely Graz, but also Vienna. We have other cities like Innsbruck and Salzburg, as I mentioned. There is many students, but the tourism aspect just overweighs. So the prices there might be a bit higher to live. I really enjoyed studying in Salzburg because it's very international due to all the tourists coming there. But Graz is the student city, and Vienna as well. You're going to have your areas in the city where there's almost only students. All right, guys. Well, if there's no more questions, thank you so much. You can always contact us. I'm currently doing an internship in the Austrian embassy here in Manila in the commercial section. My colleague Eileen is responsible for education, and she's happy to answer all your questions. Otherwise, those guys that I mentioned before, the OEAD, they're also there for you to ask and to help you to even do the individual sessions. So either come to us or come to them, and hopefully come to Austria. I'd be really happy to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And for those who visited our booth, if you have my contact details, feel free to just email me for any questions. All right, nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.